Sydney Sweeney has gone from being Hollywood's golden girl to one of the most talked about names in celebrity drama. Just months ago, fans praised her as the breakout star of Euphoria, a relatable, down-to-earth actress who seemed immune to the kind of scandals that often consume Hollywood careers. But today, her name is caught in a storm of controversy, and it feels like every single headline about her sparks outrage. From unusual brand campaigns and awkward red carpet appearances, to a soap product that left fans scratching their heads, and now, a romance that no one saw coming, Sydney's every move has been met with disappointment and backlash. The internet is asking, is she sabotaging her own image, or is this a calculated reinvention gone wrong? Let's take a closer look at how Sydney Sweeney's reputation shifted so dramatically, and why her latest choices have so many people questioning what's really going on. It all began with something that seemed like harmless fun. Sydney teamed up with the men's grooming brand Dr. Squatch to release a limited edition soap called Bathwater Bliss. The twist? It was marketed as containing droplets of Sydney's actual bathwater. When asked about it, Sydney explained in interviews that fans had been joking for years about wanting her bathwater, so she thought she'd lean into the meme with a playful product. In her eyes, it was cheeky, self-aware, and a fun way to connect with fans. But online, the reaction was anything but playful. Critics called it a gimmick, some labeled it gross, and others accused Sydney of pandering to the sexualization of female celebrities. Instead of looking clever, she looked like she was cashing in on a tired internet joke. The soap did sell out quickly. It was limited to just 5,000 bars, but the backlash left a stain on her reputation that wouldn't wash off so easily. For the first time, fans were side-eyeing her decisions. As the soap controversy simmered, Sydney showed up at Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's wedding, and that sparked an entirely new wave of backlash. The event itself was already controversial. Protesters lined the venue, angry about Bezos' wealth and reputation, so Sydney's presence was shocking. Reports suggested she wasn't close to Bezos or Sanchez, but that she was tied to an Amazon MGM Studios project, possibly even eyeing new ventures like a lingerie line backed by Bezos. Whether it was business or personal, the optics were bad. Fans who once saw Sydney as one of us who made it big, now saw her standing shoulder to shoulder with billionaires, smiling at an event many viewed as the face of greed and excess. Her cool girl energy, the image of a Hollywood starlet who worked on cars and didn't play by the typical rules, was suddenly gone. It was replaced by the perception that she was chasing connections with the very people her fanbase distrusted. That shift in image would prove hard to shake. Things only escalated with the American Eagle campaign. This partnership should have been a safe, positive move. Sydney was named the face of the brand's new line, an exciting collaboration for both sides. The campaign launched with the tagline, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes," a pun that played on both denim and her looks. At first, it generated buzz, just like the brand wanted. But quickly, people began to notice something more troubling. Critics said the slogan, paired with Sydney's blonde hair and blue eyes, unintentionally evoked undertones of racial superiority and eugenics. Social media erupted, calling the ad tone-deaf and outdated. Side-by-side comparisons were even made with controversial Calvin Klein campaigns of the 1980s. American Eagle defended the campaign, saying it was only meant to celebrate individuality and fashion, but by then, the damage was done. Instead of being remembered as a fun, youthful campaign, it became another misstep in Sydney's growing list of controversies. And then came the headline that overshadowed everything else: Sydney Sweeney was dating Scooter Braun. For many fans, this was the breaking point. Scooter is one of the most polarizing figures in entertainment. He's been painted as manipulative, power-hungry, and opportunistic, largely because of his infamous feud with Taylor Swift over the ownership of her masters. His reputation took further hits when some of his biggest clients, Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, and even Justin Bieber, walked away from him after years of loyalty. So when photos surfaced and reports from outlets like TMZ claimed Sydney and Scooter were dating, the internet exploded. Fans were stunned. "Out of all the men in the world, it had to be him," became the resounding sentiment. Insiders claimed the romance started at Bezos' wedding, with Page 6 reporting that Scooter became obsessed with Sydney after meeting her there. Since then, they'd been on multiple dates, though sources described it as casual. But fans weren't interested in whether it was serious or not. For them, the issue was why Sydney, already reeling from bad press, would choose to be associated with one of the most disliked men in the industry. To make matters more complicated, Sydney had just ended her nearly 7-year relationship and engagement with Jonathan Davino, who wasn't just her partner but also her business collaborator. Together, they co-founded a production company responsible for many of her recent projects. The split raised messy questions. Who controls the company now? Will they continue to work together? How do you untangle love and business when both are so deeply connected? Fans couldn't help but compare her messy breakup and new romance to other Hollywood dynamics. For years, people had been shipping Sydney with her Anyone But You co-star Glenn Powell, seeing them as a natural fit. Instead, she turned up with Scooter Braun, nearly 2 decades older than her, with a reputation that screamed controversy. Social media tore her apart. TikTok threads and Twitter posts painted her as someone making one bad decision after another. Users pointed out how quickly her image had shifted. She had gone from the relatable star who fixed cars and brought authenticity to Hollywood, to someone chasing billionaires and cozying up to one of the industry's most disliked names. Some fans even joked that Sydney and Scooter bonded over their shared bad reputations, 2 figures both drowning in bad press finding comfort in one another.
To me, it's not just that Sydney Sweeney and Scooter Braun are dating. It's also the fact that the way the two of them met was by both of them attending the wedding of Jeff Bezos.
Girly pop, we're just coming out of the end of a schmatzy propaganda situation. Then a movie that flopped so hard, other people that are in the movie came on social media platforms like Halsey to beg people to go see it. The whole soap issue, and now you're going to date like one of the most hated people maybe ever. Like, the amount of bad press she has gotten recently, combined with the amount of bad press that he has gotten, they own bad press right now.
I just, am baffled by her. Really, I am. I don't get it, because it felt like a really rapid descent, and it felt very much like a choice to, become this poster child for conservative people and women in this country and this day and age. It just feels like a choice. It feels very strategic to me.
It didn't help that Scooter's personal life was under fire as well. After his divorce, rumors circulated that he was prioritizing work over his family. His reputation as a Hollywood power broker was already shaky, and now, dating Sydney seemed like another PR nightmare. For critics, it looked less like a love story and more like a desperate move for relevance. Meanwhile, Sydney's professional life wasn't slowing down. She had another major movie on the horizon, the Christy Martin biopic. But instead of excitement around the role, fans were distracted by the constant drama. Would she face questions about Scooter during the press tour? Would she address the soap, the wedding, the campaign? Or would she remain silent, hoping it would all blow over? Silence, however, may not be an option. Hollywood careers thrive on public perception, and right now, Sydney's perception is shaky at best. The internet, once firmly on her side, now views her every move with skepticism. Each headline chips away at the trust she built with fans, and without that trust, even the most promising projects can falter. Some argue that Sydney is simply making choices that benefit her career behind the scenes, that these are strategic moves, no matter how they look to the public. But for most fans, perception is reality. And right now, that reality doesn't look good. Sydney Sweeney's recent controversies show just how fragile fame can be in the age of social media. One questionable choice can spark outrage, but several in a row can completely reshape a career. The soap that was meant to be fun became embarrassing. The Bezos wedding looked like selling out. The American Eagle campaign was overshadowed by accusations of tone-deaf branding. And her romance with Scooter Braun has left fans bewildered and disappointed. It's a cascade of moments that have shifted her from beloved to criticized in record time. But Hollywood is unpredictable, and comebacks happen every day. If Sydney can confront the criticism, refocus on her acting, and rebuild trust with her fans, she may be able to bounce back. But if she continues down this path of silence and questionable associations, her reputation may never recover. One thing is certain, the world is watching Sydney Sweeney very closely.